So, on a scale, can you, on the same scale of 1 to 10, again, with 1 being the worst and 10 being total and absolute perfect happiness, how do you usually feel? I know you said right now it's a 3. How do you usually feel?
It really depends on where I am. If I'm at home and I can control what's around me and what I have in the room with me, I would probably give it about probably like a 7. But if I'm anywhere outside of my home where I can't be in control of those factors,
Okay.
probably about a 2.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So then, how bad do you feel when you're at your very worst, do you think? Is that when you're out and about, like you said? Would you say that's your
Yeah, that's
worst?
probably the worst when it is. I can't
Okay.
control people and tell them that I don't want their phone next to me or that I don't want TV on. I can't control that when I'm out and
Right.
about, and it makes me crazy.
Yeah.
My mind starts racing. I get scared. I can't breathe.
That would be very hard. That'd be very hard. We're going to work on that. Definitely, we're going to work on that. So, thinking about your life the last 2 weeks, what is the worst you've felt so far? Is it still, have you been out and about a lot, or have you
No,
felt it?
that's why my husband kind of wanted me to come in more than
Okay,
usual, just because I don't want to go anywhere anymore. I just sit in my
sure,
bedroom.
sure. But since earlier you said you're feeling about a 3, you're probably not feeling the most comfortable here either. Um,
Yeah,
so, and I
yeah, it
acknowledge
still
that.
makes me really anxious.
Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind as we go along, but just let me know if there's anything I can do to make you more comfortable, okay?
Thank you.
Now, the next question I have for you, have you noticed at all lately any unintentional weight loss or weight gain?
I guess I have lost about 10 pounds in the last month.
Okay.
I just don't really have much of an appetite.
Okay. All right. So no, not much of an appetite. Is that due to your anxiety, do you think?
Yeah, when I get anxious like that and nervous, my stomach just clenches up, and I couldn't eat it if I wanted to.
Sure, sure. Okay. How about then, have you noticed any insomnia or hyperinsomnia at all lately?
I have been sleeping a lot during the day when I'm not reading in my room. I'm usually sleeping.
Okay. All right. Um, we'll work on that too. Um, so, at this moment in time, how are you feeling about yourself?
Um, I just feel like I'm getting set up with feeling this way. I can't stop the thoughts that I'm having, but it just gets exhausting having those thoughts all of the time.
Sure. Absolutely.
And I don't like that my husband thinks I'm paranoid about this because I know that I'm right and that this is happening and that it's real. And I have such conflicting feelings about my husband telling me that it's not, and then I being paranoid.
Sure. Yeah, that is hard to hear, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're certain that that's what's going on. So definitely, definitely, we're going to. Again, when I get through all these questions, we're going to be able to have a lot more insight to figure out a solution for everyone here. Um, let's see here. Now, can you tell me, this is going to kind of be a sidestep, can you tell me about a time recently when you were feeling particularly good about yourself?
Um, I guess the time that I last felt best about myself is my husband and I had a date night in the other day, and we just sat on our couch and had a glass of wine. We were just being together. I mean, we weren't really doing anything or saying anything in particular, but just having that silence and that solace was really nice.
Absolutely. So no TV, no electronics, just the two of you enjoying each other.
Yeah, he agreed to not have those around for me.
That's wonderful. That's a great. It sounds like he's really trying to help you through this by doing those things, and it sounds like, you know, we need to look at what other options like that to help you to feel good about yourself. So we'll explore maybe a few more options there. Why do you think that I asked this question about feeling good about yourself?
I don't know. I guess maybe so I can work on that better, so I feel better about myself.
Absolutely. Do you think that
behavior.
Do you think that feeling good is important?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's important to like yourself and to feel comfortable with yourself.
Good. Glad to hear that, because you're right. So, do you find yourself thinking a lot about your personal defects or deficiencies?
Yeah, I feel like I do ruminate on those things that I don't like about myself, but I feel like everybody does that. So.
Yeah, it is. There is. Yes, you are correct. That's. I validate you on that. A lot of people do. Now, so at this point, just kind of thinking in the future here, can you tell me more about just what do you plan to do tomorrow? Do you have any plans?
Not really. I mean, I don't work tomorrow, and I haven't really been going to work as much recently, so I'll probably just be spending it at home.
Okay. All right. So let's skip into the future a little bit. Knowing that tomorrow you'll take the day off, and you know, I know that you're employed currently. Let's jump down the road 5 years from now. What do you think you'll be doing 5 years from now? Not necessarily on a specific day, but just in general, what will your life be?
I don't really know. I mean, my husband thinks I'm crazy, so I don't know if my marriage will still be okay. I don't really know.
Okay, that's just fine. Do you think with us? Well, do you think that you'll ever start feeling better? Do you plan? I mean, how do I ask this question? Right now, knowing technology isn't going away, do you feel like this is something that's going to keep going on, or do you feel like there is a solution out there?
Right now, with the way I've been feeling the last few weeks, I feel like this problem is going to continue to be a problem. It's only going to get worse.
Okay. All right. So tell me something. At this time, would you say that you have any, or just in the last couple of weeks, have you ever had any thoughts of wanting to harm yourself or anyone else?
Yeah, I've had thoughts of, I know that when I was in high school, I used to cut myself.
Okay.
And I thought about how that might be, I know it doesn't sound good coming out of my mouth, but how that might help alleviate some of the stuff that's going on. And I mean, I've never wanted to, have a plan to kill myself, but I've thought about how it might just be easier to not be alive anymore.
Sure. And what would what's the reasoning for not wanting to be alive anymore exactly? I mean, most people think about suicide, but is there a reason why you wouldn't want to be alive anymore?
The only person that I really have is my husband. He thinks I'm crazy. I mean,
Sure.
What's the point?
Okay. This is kind of maybe a surprising question for you, but have you planned how you would kill yourself if you decided to follow through on your thoughts?
No, I don't really have anything specific laid out, and I don't think that I would actually go through with
Sounds good. And the reason I ask is some people who've thought about suicide, they do have at least passing thoughts about how they might do it. So I'm glad to hear that it hasn't gotten to that point yet. And for sure, I would hope that before you do something like that, that you would make sure to speak up and talk to someone. I would be more than happy to talk with you, but I want to just explore this a little bit more, just have a few more questions to follow up on this, knowing that you have had the thoughts. Let's see. Can you think, knowing that, suicide is such a definite thing, do you think that, are there any other types of alternatives that might, if you had the ideal world, what would be what would stop you from feeling that way in an ideal world? If you woke up tomorrow and all your problems were gone.
I guess the only way that I can think that I would feel better and I would feel less anxious is if people would stop spying on me and watching me, because
Sure.
I know what's happening and I just can't do anything about it. And I don't see how that's going to happen for it to stop. So
Okay.
It's like a hopeless situation.
Do you know why that they would be watching you?
I don't know why. I know what's happening.
Okay.
I don't know if they're trying to get more information on me or trying to find out, the bad things that I've done and to hold that against me. I don't know why.
Okay. All right. Who would... Okay. So, do you think that if they were to... let's say that you were to kill yourself, would they benefit in any way, or would it be a loss to them in some way?
I don't, because I don't know why they're watching me.
Sure. Okay. I'm just trying to...
I guess if I knew why, I'd know the better answer to that.
Right.
I don't know why.
I'm just trying to understand here too. So when you have these thoughts, these random thoughts of suicide, can you explain to me why you would think it would be necessary or beneficial? Who benefits from it?
I think that my husband would benefit from it because he's clearly stressed out about me.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. You don't think that he would be hurt at all if you left him?
I mean, he probably would be, but I feel like it would be the greater good for me to not be around.
Sure. Well, no. My question is kind of, why now? Why would you, can you think of any other options when you're feeling that way? Things that you can do? I think you kind of alluded to a few earlier. Things that you can do to kind of push those thoughts out of your head?
Reading and kind of taking my mind somewhere else.
Yeah. Definitely. And getting away from the electronics. I think that's something that we should focus on a little bit more is separating you from those electronics and, finding a sense of peace there.